This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock has tips to protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report phishing, and update the software on your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, let LifeLock alert you to suspicious uses of your personal information. LifeLock also fixes identity theft, guaranteed or your money back. Stay smart, safe, and protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
These are true payroll crime stories with your hosts, Brian Escobar and Walter William Duncan III.
Welcome back, folks, for a special true payroll crime story. This one is like breaking news in the UK. I'm here with my partner, Walter. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? I'm good, bro. How are you?
I'm good, man. I got to be so intentional about the intro because my mind's do the intro, but I don't want to mess it up.
Well, no, like we had this talk, and I think this is a good little icebreaker for this episode, right? It's just because you see other podcasts and you see, hey, I'm your host, Brian Escobar, and I'm your host, Walter William Duncan III, and it's about your payroll. And it's about payroll, right?
Yep.
So I get it.
Yeah. So I just get stuck in my head. So thanks, folks, for letting us share that moment with y'all.
Yeah, it's okay, man. So how's everybody doing? Are you good, man?
I'm good, man. Yes, sir. I'm good. Yeah. Excited about that. It's crazy how we get excited about payroll news now.
Yeah.
But what was exciting is like I have folks hit me up from across the pond, as we call it, right? And they were like, yo, get on LinkedIn right now. Breaking news. Boom, boom. I was like, oh, word? No doubt. So Shout out to Sylvia. She's actually going to provide our solve for this, as she was the one that shared it with me. And I was like, well, dag on. Why don't you go ahead and give me a quote for the record? You know what I mean? And she obliged. So big shout out to her for that. And we'll get to her solution later. But this is true payroll crimes. And we got a data breach and big story. Multiple UK companies that have been impacted. A big payroll provider over in the UK was involved in this. We were, kind of reading all the spidey senses kind of came up, red flags all through this article. But go ahead, take us through it, Walt. Break it down for us. What are we looking at?
Yeah, you guys should have seen Brian. His mind was just going, just like focused, laser focused. So, as Brian said, there were multiple types of businesses that were impacted. Some of those you may know. British Airways, there's a UK drugstore chain called Boots, and BBC. So that's kind of huge. That's really huge.
The news network, yep.
Right. So the perpetrators, they were hackers, and they're believed to be a group called Lace, without a D, Tempest. So this, even though the company that was impacted is based out of the UK, all these companies are worldwide. So the impact, the place that this occurred is worldwide. So
it's a
global
impact.
Right?
Yep.
So the length of the scheme, we don't know because they just reported on it in May. I think on May 21st or May 31st, one of those days, sometime in May, just last month, a couple of weeks ago. They just reported on it and said, hey, this is what we just found this out. So there's no sentencing. These people are still at large, still out there, and they're a well-known hacker group. The total monetary impact is currently unknown because we don't know how many people have been scammed, how many people have been touched, how many lives have been impacted by this.
But I'm going to go ahead and jump to the fact that we got in here, right? Because it's perfect timing.
Yep.
They have been known to...
Hey everybody, Tim Sackett, host of HR Famous, a new podcast on the Work Defined Network. Am I famous? No, I'm HR famous. My wife says I'm a micro celebrity and 13 HR ladies around the world want their picture with me, which I think is funny. So, hey, what do we talk about on the pod? We talk about all the dumb stuff we do in HR in any given day, week, month, and we have fun with it, and we have some great guests. Come check us out. We're not famous. We're HR famous.
extort demands up to $35 million or more than $35 million. So these folks are, 7-8 figure demands in their data breaches. They're malicious with it. You know what I mean? They're going to go grab data and they're going to be malicious with it. So
this is common for them, is what you're saying, right?
Apparently.
This is their common thing based on what they usually do this and make 7 or 8 figure demands.
Yep.
They're out there trying, hey, we want it's like almost think about somebody getting kidnapped and the kidnapper saying, hey, it's 35 mil.
But look, and it's not beautiful. It's not a good thing, right? But I think, again, it's like it's a non-violent type of thing. They don't have to take anybody. I'm going to just take your data. I have, your precious data, and we've been talking about it so often. I mean, I think I don't know if this topic goes away. It's kind of, just goes hand in hand with payroll now and data.
In today's climate, data is kind of everything, man. Like you see some of these commercials and stuff. Like I saw this funny commercial by Apple. I don't know if you saw it, but they were saying how health data.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I love that commercial. It's so hilarious. It's like, this person has this and this person has done this and that. Yes. And it's just, hey, because this is secure or whatever. Shout out to Apple. I guess I'm an Apple user. But no,
it's true. Yeah. No, I've caught it. And it's true. And it's right on time. So, all right, let's get into some of the things that they did here. So basically, it's a payroll provider in the UK named Zellis, but they were impacted because they use a third-party software called Move It, and it's to move files around. I like to move it. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought immediately too. Now you said global impact. That company is based out of Massachusetts in the US. Okay, now, so that's who they use. That's who actually got breached. My problem is Zellis is claiming that there was no impact to their company, their software.
Yeah, they said Zellis owned software is unaffected.
But that's specific. Really look at the words that they're talking about. That doesn't mean that their clients weren't impacted. That's the problem. Yeah, okay, your software, you're good at security, but you're not good at picking their third parties security, right? And that's in the solution, but we'll leave that to the side. But
go
ahead.
Well, think about it. Like, so say we use a third party, we use a lot of different vendors.
Yes, right?
Yes. As we process payroll. So if we, whether it's a PDO setup or whether however we do our payroll, if we use a vendor that's been hacked, the employee that's been hacked is going to come at us because we do their payroll. And we're like, hey, why didn't you guys protect my info against this?
Yeah, absolutely.
The employee's not going to care.
No, heck no. And I mean, it's no different than when we argue internally about whose fault it was. At the end of the day, the employee is my company. They don't care that the HR and payroll and finance and this one and that one, y'all messed up my check. Who cares, man? You breached, you have my data now. It doesn't matter how, because I'm sitting here like, how is Zellis making that claim? And they're the center of the article. They are the center of the attack. So folks, I get it. You want to push some liability and you got legal actions that you have to deal with. I get it. I sympathize. You know what I mean? You got it right. But let's look at it for what it is, because you use this vendor.
Yeah. Look at the number of some of the employees for some of the bigger companies here. Like the drugstore, Boots.
Oh gosh,
over 50,000 people employed.
Gracious.
British Airways, over 30,000 people staff, and BBC, more than 21,000. That's 100,000.
You're talking about over 100, yes, or easily over 100,000 employees
just in those companies
impacted on and there was more. They're just naming the big names, right? Yeah. They're naming the ones that are making the article. Oh my gosh, we all know BBC, but there were some other ones in there as well. Right. Yep. So, and then the way they did this, I don't totally understand it. We were like teaching ourselves real quick is SQL injection. And apparently that's a very common hacker trait. But what I was reading real quick is that it doesn't, they're right, it's not Zealous, it's Move It that they can kind of sneak this little attack in on because you're using the Move It. So as soon as you use that product, that's when they sneak the injection and the hacking piece code into it. Boom.
Yeah.
That's what causes the problem.
Yeah, and then when you Google this, it said it was a
the most common SQL
The
injection
most.
tactic.
Yes.
Yes. So, you know, we're not IT folks, guys. We're just reporting this stuff, man. We want folks to be careful out there and be diligent. So that's the how. They threaten millions, right? If they're putting hundreds of thousands of folks at risk, and there is possible PII impact to it. So, but that's on their clients. You know, yeah, Zealous, you folks may not have exposed your employee list, but the employees that you're processing. Now, folks, you know, I'm not trying to look, Zealous representative, y'all want to come on, man, and talk? That would be awesome. We would love to have you on the show, explain how it's safe now. Please tell us, please, because like we have colleagues in the UK, right, that are worrying about these things, and this is a global impact. So I forgot to bring this up, and I wanted to ask you how you feel about this, because I don't know how I feel about it yet, but you know, we got called the payroll police.
We did?
Yes.
We all love a legendary comeback, and Degree Original Cool Rush is back and better than ever. Cool Rush isn't just a scent, it's a movement, a fan favorite that delivers bold, fresh vibes and all-day sweat protection. Whether you have a man that spends hours in the gym, heads into the office early, or is just trying to stay fresh on a long day, Cool Rush has their back. Head to your local Walmart or Target and grab Degree Cool Rush, the fan favorite scent from the world's #1 antiperspirant brand.
How do you? I don't know how I feel about it.
I mean, hey.
You know what? I'd rather be more of the voice of payroll. We're the voices of payroll. You know that I like that better. I don't want to. I don't necessarily want to be the payroll police, so to speak.
Yeah, because I get it right. It's just like, hey.
I don't know. I mean, it's coming from a good place. So, you know, thank you for that. Look, if you calling us anything at this point, I'm happy. But you know, just something to think about, right? I forgot to bring it up offline, but hey, you guys got to share that moment with us.
Yeah, when I think about it, I can see it like being like, depending on how we do it, we could pitch it, do something fun with it, you know?
Yes, yeah, I thought about that too. Oh, we can have fun with that. But regardless of it, look, if you're listening, I'm here to give it. And at the end of the day, we want to help. But again, so the PII, because it says it's potentially critical information involving sensitive PIs leaked from companies like Zealous victims that can be used in further attacks, including targeted phishing attempts, right? So they can get this data and then continue to wreak havoc. You know, that's the annoying part, like man.
Yep. That's
what
how
else?
they do it, man. Think about it, like when you sign up for a site, you go to here and you want to go somewhere and they ask you for your email, there could be somebody who's just doing a SQL injection there. So be careful about where you access it. If you're on the company computer as a payroll professional, hey, use your personal stuff to go to your personal sites, personal shopping, if you're on your company one, don't go visit all those different sites. You could expose your company. So.
Yeah. That's a great call out, Walt. Thanks for that, man. And you know, we're so easy, like, oh, we'll go jump on Amazon real quick, and while we're waiting for, you know, so we do have to be mindful for those things. What I try to do is, if I need, because like think about it, 5 minutes before a meeting, I'm not gonna start a task. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just wait for that meeting. I'm gonna just rock out for a second. I just use my phone. You know what I mean? I just use my phone. Jump on my phone. I'll surf and do those things from there. As a payroll professional, you really want to leave your computer untainted. You know what I mean? Untainted. Like if your IT is really good, they block. I remember one of the jobs I was at, they had to block Netflix because people were getting on Netflix and watching from work.
Yes, bro. Like people,
it was crazy. They had to block it. So if your IT is really on point, they can do a lot of this stuff and dummy proof it for you. And you really should, as business owners, folks, talk to your IT professionals. This is where our IT VP looks like a rock star, right? Because he is super hard on us, and sometimes we'll be like, "Golly, man, we gotta how do we work?" But now when these things happen, we're like, "Oh wow, he's kind of brilliant."
Why?
He's kind of right.
Why he's so diligent?
Yes.
Why he's so diligent? Why he's so on top of it? Because he knows the other side of it that we may not understand.
Yep.
He's like, oh God, like why?
Yeah. It makes our life so hard, but it's kind of like us too, right? Why payroll professionals push for certain best practices, because it's all good until it's not.
Yep.
It's all good until your data gets breached. You know what I mean? Let me read this statement for you guys. It says also any organization that had MOVEit web interface exposed to the internet should perform a forensic analysis of the system, irrespective of when the software was patched. There may be further ways of exploitation and data theft. Additionally, watch out. Some of our clients impacted by the MOVEit exploitation received extortion emails over the weekend. These extortion emails were unrelated to the MOVEit, but organizations could easily confuse them as being authentic. So be careful. Be careful. I just thought that was a little great nugget that they shared, and wanted to pass that along. Oh, this wasn't the only MOVEit wasn't the only company of its kind that got hit. They went on a strategic attack, right? 4 other companies listed here were also attacked. One of them was called Acelion, Fortra, Go Anywhere, Solar Winds Serve You, and IBM Aspera Fastfix. These names are weird. I don't know what any of them mean, but the point is, these folks were, they had a planned attack. They're going to war, and they knew what was vulnerable. These type of file data moving services vendors. They knew exactly where to go and exactly what to use, that SQL injection piece with the code.
Yep.
What does it really take to lead with impact in today's ever-evolving world? Welcome to Inside the C-Suite, the podcast where influence, energy, innovation, and empathy converge. Hi, I'm Christy Honeycutt, your host. Join me as I sit down with the boldest voices in leadership, visionaries who are not just making decisions, but making a difference. In every episode, we explore the heart of leadership. How do high-performing leaders harness their energy? How do they lead with empathy without losing their edge? How do they turn disruption into innovation and pressure into purpose? You'll hear unfiltered stories of adversity, resilience, and the raw moments that shaped true influence. This isn't about perfection. It's about presence, passion, and the energetic exchange that fuels transformation. Inside the C-Suite is your invitation to lead from a deeper place, with intention, connection, and courage. If you're ready to go beyond the surface and unlock what really moves leaders to action, hit subscribe and step inside. You can find us wherever you get your podcast fix. Inside the C-Suite, well, we're an energetic exchange. Let's lead with influence, live with energy, and create with empathy.
So, again, they go on to say in this article that we're reading from is Over-Zellis owned software is unaffected, and there are no associated incidents or compromises to any other part of our IT estate. That may be true to Zellis. Listen to the words, folks. Read the words, right? They're being honest, but their customers are getting hurt. Their customers are getting exposed. So again, it's worth repeating. Any organization that had the MOVEit web interface exposed to the internet should perform a forensic analysis of their systems, irrespective of when your software was patched. So regardless, doesn't matter when you did what, who did when. They're like, hey, do it again, right? Do it again. These hackers are smart, man. They could find a little way in.
And even if you don't use MOVEit and you use some other third party data file transfer system or vendor.
Yeah.
You should do a scrub. You should do a forensic analysis of your stuff to make sure that you haven't been compromised.
Absolutely. Are we ready for the solution?
Yes, sir. Let's go.
All right. Again, brought to us from across the pond from our colleague overseas, Sylvia Corhonen. Thank you so much for taking the time to give us the solution on this. Yes. So again, so Sylvia says, how can we protect ourselves as leaders? Ensuring we hold precise, thorough contractual clauses in our data processing agreements with our payroll vendors and security standards and insurance levels, performing cyclical penetration tests and risk assessments, incident reporting procedures, descriptions of their internal security policies, audit reviews, and submissions of ISO certificates, just to name a few. It is critical during initial payroll vendor vetting and cyclical reattestation to engage your information security team to ensure your company's minimum requirements are met.
Yeah.
In layman's terms, because Sylvia's super technical, super smart. Thank you so much for this, right? What she's saying is make sure that your vendors have the protocols they need, pressure test them, pressure test your systems, your tech stack, your ecosystem, right? And then make sure your IT is part of this as well. And they're helping you pressure test and ITs and this, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You see how they protect their data. So do you have two-factor? Do you use this?
Yes.
Like it may seem simple, it's not rocket science here, but like, hey, it's still, but like you were going to say, you might want to have an encrypted file. You might want to have an encrypted share drive or something like that you upload that to, and just something that's, kind of hard to penetrate.
Yep. And then the last thing was also, and a great call out, was make sure that all of this is part of your disaster recovery, right? Because that's how, I don't know if the movies are right, but that's how they get in sometimes. When they shut you down and you have to reboot, there are little milliseconds of exposure that hackers get in, right? So, and then we don't think about that. We'll get this awesome plan while we have power. But what happens when power goes down and you have to reboot everything, you have to reconnect things, you have to reconfigure things, you're exposed, or you could be, right? So that's also great. Thank you, Sylvia, for that.
Yes, thank you.
Also, make sure your business continuity plans include some of this data processing protection.
Yeah.
So that's the solution to this. What else, bro? I mean, I think there was
That's it.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So yeah, man. I think that's it, bro.
Yep.
Right.
Done.
Thank you, folks, for listening again. Another show. We'll see you later this week.
See you again later.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to It's About Payroll. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep going.